Hello, I'm here at the Covent Garden Hotel for the launch of Nikon's Spring Collection, which, as well as including compacts, also focused on a new DSLR, the D60. This is essentially a replacement for the D40X, which Nikon is now going to stop making. But this model is different. It is under £500, and we had a chat with an expert from Nikon, Hardeep, who told us exactly what new technologies this model boasts and why you should buy it. So Hardeep, explain to me all about the D60 and what its big differences are from its predecessor.
Okay, essentially the D60 is the next evolution up from D40X. A lot of user feedback was taken on the D40, of course, and the D40X.
Yep.
Have been in the market for a little while now, and they've essentially just made this a little sharper, a little better, and it's all about, I think, small changes, big differences, really.
Obviously, there's certain buzz questions or buzzwords. People get excited about new technologies, and in the presentation, you mentioned that the D60 has got a new dust reduction system. Can you tell me a bit about it?
It's a patented Nikon technology which they call airflow control.
This is amazing, yeah.
It's the airflow control system, and what they've got is actually got ducts just inside the camera lens mount here. And when a picture is taken, what happens is that there's always natural motion of the mirror that's in the camera.
Sure.
And when that goes up and then back down again, it creates a pressure inside the mirror box. And what happens is that that pressure is actually used to force that air away from the mirror box and into the bottom of the camera where the dust is actually held.
Wow,
so
okay.
2 stages.
And the other thing, one of the other key features that you talked about was the interface. Because with this camera, it seems you're aiming really at the prosumer market. So, you know, people who might have had a high-end compact before and want to move on to a DSLR. With the interface, what have you guys done that's made it easier? What is it that you think people are less frightened of when it comes to using DSLRs?
Okay, I mean, first off, it's a very large, bright screen.
Sure.
And you can quite easily just change all the settings that the camera has. And as you change them, you can see on your screen exactly what you're setting up.
So that's to stop people having to look back
Absolutely,
at the dial.
just keep tipping towards the dial, and
Okay.
everything, all the information is just from one source rather than being confusing and all over the camera. And as you tilt the camera around, it'll always be in the correct orientation to whatever you're doing.
Okay, what's the price, and when's it actually going to be on UK shelves?
Right, it should be available, if I can take that back to front, it should be available around February the 22nd on the shelves. The price, the camera is available in various formats, so you can buy the body alone, and that's at £449 RRP. It's available with an 1855 standard lens, and that will be at $499.99, and also as a VR kit, which will be the predominant kit. That's the standard kit we're actually going to be selling it with. And it's the VR kit, and that will be at $529.99.
Fantastic. Well, look, thank you so much for your time, and I hope the camera does well.
Thank you very much.
So this model has 10.2 megapixels and also has a new dual dust reduction system. But one of our favourites was the aperture diagram, which shows you the aperture moving on the camera as you're shooting, and also a feature which shows the mode dial at the top, moving actually on the LCD screens, so you don't need to flick the camera around when you're shooting. This camera is also incredibly cheap at just under £500, so well worth checking out if you have a pretty good budget for a camera, but also want to be able to have the same abilities as some of the pros.
We love the BlackBerry Pearl. Why do we love the BlackBerry Pearl? Well, because it's all the beauty of the BlackBerry in a tiny little package, and it's got a digital camera. It's great. We love it because it allows you to stay connected. You can get your emails wherever you are. You can sort of keep in contact with all the other people. Now, okay, there are some people that say, well, won't you get addicted? We don't care. We love it. We want our emails. We want to stay in touch now, now, now. And that's why we love the BlackBerry Pearl. Well, there you go. It seems like consumers looking for a new entry-level digital SLR camera are going to have plenty of choice in the months ahead. Which one's better? Well, it's hard to say. We haven't really had a chance to get, a deep, in-depth review on either of them. But what is apparent is that there's going to be plenty of features to play with, from live view to SD cards, etc., etc. Personally, It will probably come down to personal choice. It's one of those things. I really quite like the Canon camera because I normally use a Canon outside of work. But I know lots of people that prefer the Nikon interface. And so, you know, it would be good for you to go and have a quick play before you actually invest your money. Well, that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Why don't you tune in next time for more news, reviews, tips, tricks, and much more. And if you're watching this on a podcast, why don't you come to Megawhat.tv, where there's plenty more on the website to get your teeth into. Hope you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned.